Are you ready for another amazing account from the travels of Marco Polo? Welcome to my channel, and hello returning friends. I hope you're well. Now let's take a look at the story of the Old Man of the Mountain, a master villain who was more like a murderous, modern-day diabolical cult leader. The location takes place in the mountains of modern-day Iran, sometime between the years 1090 to 1256 BC. This guy did it all. He chose a remote closed-off location, built a castle, and filled it with young girls to be used as bait. He then had them lure fine young men to his compound, only for them to be drugged and turned into programmed assassins. Hold on, because this is a crazy story of master manipulation and mind control, which holds so much relevance for us today. Concerning the Old Man of the Mountain, Mulahet is a country in which the Old Man of the Mountain dwelt in former days, and the name means place of the Aram. I will tell you his whole history as related by Messer Marco Polo, who heard it from several natives of that region. The old man was called in their language Alodin. He had caused a certain valley between two mountains to be enclosed, and had turned it into a garden, the largest and most beautiful that ever was seen, filled with every variety of fruit. In it were erected pavilions and palaces, the most elegant that can be imagined, all covered with gilding and exquisite painting. And there were runnels too, flowing freely with wine and milk and honey and water, and numbers of ladies and of the most beautiful damsels in the world, who could play on all manner of instruments, and sung most sweetly, and danced in a manner that it was charming to behold. For the old man desired to make his people believe that this was actually paradise. So he had fashioned it after the description that Muhammad gave of his paradise, to wit, that it should be a beautiful garden running with conduits of wine and milk and honey and water, and full of lovely women for the delectation of all its inmates. And sure enough, the Saracens of those parts believed that it was paradise. Now no man was allowed to enter the garden save those whom he intended to be his Ashishin. There was a fortress at the entrance to the garden, strong enough to resist all the world, and there was no other way to get in. He kept at his court a number of the youths of the country, from 12 to 20 years of age, such as had a taste for soldiering, and to these he used to tell tales about paradise, just as Muhammad had been wont to do, and they believed in him just as the Saracens believe in Muhammad. Then he would introduce them into his garden, some 4 or 6 or 10 at a time, having first made them drink a certain potion which cast them into a deep sleep, and then causing them to be lifted and carried in. So when they awoke, they found themselves in the garden. How the old man used to train his assassins. When therefore they awoke, and found themselves in a place so charming, they deemed that it was paradise in very truth. And the ladies and damsels dallied with them to their heart's content, so that they had what young men would have. And with their own good will, they never would have quitted the place. Now this prince, whom we call the Old One, kept his court in grand and noble style, and made those simple hill folks about him believe firmly that he was a great prophet. And when he wanted one of his Ashishin to send on any mission, he would cause that potion whereof I spoke to be given to one of the youths in the garden, and then had him carried into his palace. So when the young man awoke, he found himself in the castle, and no longer in that paradise, whereat he was not over well pleased. He was then conducted to the old man's presence, and bowed before him with great veneration, as believing himself to be in the presence of a true prophet. The prince would then ask whence he came, and he would reply that he came from paradise, and that it was exactly such as Muhammad had described it in the law. This of course gave the others who stood by, and who had not been admitted, the greatest desire to enter therein. So when the old man would have any prince slain, he would say to such a youth, "Go thou and slay so and so, and when thou returnest, my angels shall bear thee into paradise. And shouldst thou die, Nonetheless, even so will I send my angels to carry thee back into paradise. So he caused them to believe. And thus there was no order of his that they would not affront any peril to execute. For the great desire they had to get back into that paradise of his. And in this manner the old one got his people to murder anyone whom he desired to get rid of. Thus too, the great dread that he inspired all princes withal made them become his tributaries in order that he might abide at peace and amity with them. How the old man came by his end. Now it came to pass, in the year of Christ's incarnation, 1252, that Allah, Lord of the Tartars of the Levant, heard tell of these great crimes of the old man, and resolved to make an end of him. So he took and sent one of his barons with a great army to that castle, and they besieged it for 3 years, but they could not take it, so strong was it. And indeed, if they had had food within it, never would have been taken. But after being besieged those 3 years, they ran short of victual and were taken. The old man was put to death with all his men, and the castle with its garden of paradise was leveled with the ground. And since that time, he has had no successor, and there was an end to all his villainies. I genuinely hope you enjoyed this historical account preserved for us through the writings of Marco Polo just as much as I enjoyed creating it. Please like the video and consider becoming a subscriber. I wish you many blessings as this year comes to a close.